Okay, first let's define some terms. Dumping is not pump and dump, okay? Dumping is exporting a good for a price lower than the cost of producing it. Rough definition. It's mainly used to destroy industries in the importing country and to make the importing country dependent on the exporting country. And micropenis does this a lot, and I'm willing to bet you didn't even know it. Outlook. Did you know you can host your own email server? Literally at your house. You don't even need to rent a server. Now think about organizations. A university could easily pay a local to build and maintain an email server. That is money that could be going to locals in need, staying in your country, and making the country somewhat independent instead of being dependent on some gigantic lobbying corporation. But instead, Microcunt has cucked the locals, again, and forces countries to be dependent on them. Think about the amount of jobs lost to this one corporation. It really is fucking insane. And because Microsoft offers its services to organizations for a very little price, or even free, locals can't even compete. This is literal dumping, okay? Microsoft Outlook and whatnot are offered virtually for free to institutions, or universities, or hospitals, or banks, or whatever the fuck. It gets to steal data from universities, banks, and a lot of other companies, and they get to destroy industries in that country and make the entire country solely dependent on their shitty, tyrannical cloud services. And now let's look at the other part, human rights. That's right, Microsoft now has access to emails and files shared through around 1 million companies globally. Think about the number of jobs lost. Again, just 1 million companies. Holy shit. This is what you call global espionage. This is some 1984-esque shit. If you don't encrypt your stuff through Microsoft services, you are fucked. Hospitals, universities, research companies, all companies are virtually pwned by Microsoft. That HIV test you did because you plugged some hole last night, Microsoft knows the result and will blackmail you unless you write policies that favor them. Let's say you and your professor are working on some cancer treatment that you want to keep open source and you don't want to patent it because you have principles and you care about human lives. Well, now Microsoft can steal your research, patent that research, and then sue you for using that research. Copyright, motherfuckers. Now, obviously, these examples are somewhat hyperboles, but you get the underlying point. People these days have more faith in corporations than their families, than their fucking friends, than whatever religion they believe in. You get the point. You seriously think Microsoft or any corporation won't use data they store on customers for personal gain?
We would never.
Or hand it over to the government? Or use it for targeted advertising. And not to mention, they have the encryption keys on their servers. Fagman isn't Jesus or Allah or whatever Dungeons and Dragons character you pray to. They're a greedy, profit-seeking organization that will cross any line for profit. Same thing with Apple and all that. Every time you hear a company say privacy, know it's full of shit because they store their encryption keys on their own servers. These Fagman companies are more powerful than literal countries in terms of net worth. They have more data and control more data than entire governments. They own the fucking world. And it blows my mind that people simply don't give a fuck and wait about 5 seconds to open up everything they need on some fucking cloud service through a browser so they can manipulate some basic text data.